Well, Jillian, for more on this, we want to bring in Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. Tricia, great to see you. Thank you for coming on. Want to talk to you about some breaking news we're getting in this morning. I understand ICE has arrested a previously deported illegal alien who you guys say was caught on video throwing a Molotov cocktail at law enforcement during the riots here in Los Angeles on Saturday. Tell us about this guy and what charges is he now facing?
Bill, that's right. This is a Mexican national who is in our country illegally. He's being charged with attempted murder, throwing Molotov cocktails at our law enforcement officers, at our ICE enforcement officers. But this is not his first run-in with the law. Just last year, he was charged with a DUI as well as grand larceny. This is the perfect example of people who should not be in this country. And as these politicians try so vehemently to demonize and vilify our ICE officers, they are on the streets putting their lives at risk every single day to get these criminal illegal aliens off of our streets and make sure that Los Angeles and other great cities in the United States are safe.
Yeah, and we've seen all these foreign flags waving during these protests. So remarkable that an illegal alien, previously deported, now being charged with throwing a Molotov cocktail at law enforcement down there in Los Angeles. Also want to get your attention to some of what California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, have been saying in recent days. They're saying the National Guard isn't necessary. They've been saying things are peaceful. Here's a little bit of what they've been saying.
When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. It clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes.
I think that's a problem with the administration, because to come in such a massive way and to make the announcements that all of this was going to happen and then not communicate it with the local jurisdiction as to when, what, how, why, is really problematic.
So, Tricia, we heard Mayor Bass say it once again that local law enforcement was never notified about this ICE operation, which started on Friday. But we talked to the acting ICE director, Todd Lyons, yesterday, who said that is absolutely false. He says ICE notified the locals 48 hours in advance last Wednesday and that they have the receipts to prove it. So is Mayor Bass just being dishonest, in your opinion?
She's absolutely being dishonest. Todd Lyons is right. We had the receipts to prove it. We notified local LAPD that these ICE operations were occurring at least 48 hours in advance. And the American people should know some of the individuals that we picked up on these ICE operations. Child rapists, child molesters, murderers, convicted arsonists, truly the worst of the worst on the streets. But my message to Mayor Bass and to Governor Newsom and these rioters that they back is that ICE will not be deterred. We will not be intimidated by this rioter violence. We will keep going. We will only ramp up ICE operations, and we will continue to get these criminals off of our streets.
Now, I do want to ask you about these photos that ICE posted yesterday. It shows ICE officers conducting an operation here in Los Angeles yesterday under the guard of the U.S. military. So the U.S. military essentially providing security for ICE. I've embedded with ICE a bunch of times, first time I've ever seen this. But can you just tell us what you're hearing from ICE agents? I assume they got to be pretty happy to have highly trained military soldiers watching their six during these operations when things have gotten so hostile out here.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. This is a whole of government approach. The National Guard, the Pentagon has been fantastic in giving our ICE operations the security and support that they need to continue to get the worst of the worst off of America's streets. And we'll continue to work together, well, whether it be in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, anywhere that these riots may break out, we will continue our operations and we will not be deterred.
So we've heard President Trump suggesting that he thinks some of these protesters might be being paid just based off how organized they are, all the matching signs, the different flags and everything. Does DHS have any kind of intelligence whatsoever to, have any evidence of that? Do you guys believe that these protesters are being paid by somebody and that these protests are completely organic?
Yeah, Bill, we have been actively working with the IRS and the FBI to see who the financial backers are. These do look like highly sophisticated, highly coordinated protesters and rioters, much like what we saw in 2020. And thank God President Trump had the foresight to see this violence coming and prevent it by calling in more law enforcement, more military resources on the ground. But I do want to say, Bill, Americans can be so proud of our law enforcement, our ICE operators, our National Guard, in the face of such hatred, in the face of them being pummeled by rocks, Molotov cocktails being thrown at them, being taunted, being so disrespected. They have stood with such dignity and patriotism, and they make America proud, and I'm so grateful to them, and every American should be.
Yeah, and when it comes to that Molotov cocktail throw, we understand the U.S. Attorney out here in Los Angeles is going to have a press conference later on this morning announcing those attempted murder charges. We'll keep an eye on that. Tricia McLaughlin, great to see you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.